I will fight. If it means I sell even my teaspoon in my house, I will do that.
Declaring war on SARS.
Excitement outside the Durban Commercial Crimes Court. High-flying businesswoman Shauwn Mkhize has been granted bail of 100,000 rand in her latest fraud case.
Not to say I didn't like it. There were things that I was unhappy about, but I can't decide on your story. It's your story.
Shauwn Mkhize has been granted bail.
She owes the revenue service more than 200 million rand.
This is Mamkhize.
Now, businesswoman and philanthropist Shauwn Mkhize, popularly known as Mam'Mkhize, has published a book in her memoir, Mam'Mkhize, My World, My Rules.
It's obviously the image we all know, the image we all love, and the image we've all come to celebrate in South Africa. But something is weird about this image.
South Africa has a serious role model problem. It's as if as long as you have money, you look fancy and flashy, you automatically qualify to be the greatest role model. How, where and why you got that money does not seem to be important to the masses.
So we all know who Mamkhize is, right? But there's one thing I've never been able to figure out about Ushona or Mamkhize, and that is how exactly has this lady become so rich? I mean, she seems like one of the people who are just famous for being rich in South Africa. But I don't think we've ever collectively asked the question of how Mamkhize built this multi-million dollar empire. I mean, we've heard conspiracies here and there. We've heard a few theories about how she has a snake and somehow she's making money from that snake. Apparently she has a construction company or something like that. But I just wanted once and for all to figure out how Mamkhize made so much money. And in this video, we're going to be doing exactly that. In this video, I want to try to understand how Mamkhize became so filthy rich. So if we're going to ever figure out how Mamkhize built this multi-million rand empire, we have to start from the beginning. We have to know the lady herself and how she started, how she grew up, and where she grew up. Where does she even come from, for goodness sakes? And we're going to do that right now. So this is her early life. So Shauwn Mkhize was born and raised in the village of Umpumbulu in KwaZulu-Natal under the care of her mother, who was Florence Mkhize, who was at the time an ANC veteran and an apartheid activist. So this is important. We're starting to get the groundwork of how Shauwn Mkhize was brought up, and it's very notable that her mother was an ANC veteran and an apartheid activist, but we'll leave that for later. She graduated with a diploma in accounting from the ML Sultan Technikon, known as the Durban University of Technology. Now, while trying to do research about Ushawn's father, I didn't find much information, quite surprisingly, but a few articles and even her memoir do point out exactly who her father is. So we do know that her father's name is Usipho Mkhize, and this article says, while Mamkhize gives readers a fly-on-the-wall experience of her own colorful life, she also does detail her childhood traumas, which include the brutal assassination of her father Sipho Mkhize and the careless murder of her brother Usbu Mkhize. According to IOL News, Mkhize's father was killed for apparently political reasons, which are alleged by policemen in 1991. And a year later, her brother Usbu Mkhize was killed in a shootout with the police in Ispingo, Durban. So we can see that Shawn's childhood is fraught with assassination attempts. It's just tumultuous. There's a lot going on in her childhood, and I think that'll be important in building a character as a businesswoman. But her childhood isn't obviously all sunshine and rainbows. She did lose her father at a very young age, and I think that's something to take into consideration. Now, how exactly did her career start? I mean, after DUT, what happened? What moves did she make to obviously get her to the position she's in today? Well, her career began in 1996 after she graduated with a diploma in accounting from DUT. She went on to work in the finance departments for a number of companies, but then went into business for herself. She started off with small projects from the local municipality, which included feeding schemes, painting, and construction work. Now, after this, she started a construction company called Zikhulise Group, which is black owned and also has several businesses including Zikhulise Maintenance and Transport, Zikhulise Auto Recoveries, and Inyanga Trading. She also owned the South African football club, the Royal Eagles FC. She is considered to be one of the most influential people in South Africa and an inspiration to women, as she has been instrumental in breaking barriers for women in corporate environments in South Africa. In October 2019, she was announced as the president of the Royal AM Football Club, formerly known as Real Kings. So we're starting to see, at least from our knowledge, how Shauwn built her business empire, the foundations, right? We can see she started a company called Zikhulise Maintenance and Transport, Zikhulise Auto Recoveries, Inyanga Trading, which basically the umbrella term is called Zikhulise Group. So I think it's safe to say that Mamkhize's foundation, at least with the fortune she has, started from these companies. It started from the Zikhulise Group, and she was able to buy the Royal Eagles Football Club, and I think that built the foundation of the wealth she has today. Now, while it all seems like all sunflowers, sunshine and rainbows, it wouldn't be long before Shauwn Mkhize would find herself in the midst of controversy. And wouldn't you know it, Carte Blanche would be knocking on her door and asking her a few questions about her alleged fraud case, which was incredibly public.
She's been charged several times. Confusingly, in the summons we received, she denied being a convicted fraudster. The documents served on us included this police clearance certificate. We confirmed that some of the cases were withdrawn, but we were baffled because we knew of one conviction for fraud in 2005.
So, in a riveting episode that shook the airwaves, the Durban businesswoman Shauwn Mkhize found herself in the hot seat as Carte Blanche delved into the highly publicized fraud case from 2005 involving her company. Airing on DSTV's Mnet, the episode on Sunday, the 21st of April, posed a damning question in its caption, saying, "A millionaire businesswoman, a convicted fraudster, and alleged tax evasion? Does fame and fortune get you a clean slate?" Now, facing challenging questions and presented with incriminating evidence, Mamkhize staunchly denied any personal culpability, deflecting blame onto her company, saying, quote, "But it can't be me because that wasn't me. It's the company," she asserted, attempting to distance herself from the accusation. Now, people on the internet would obviously weigh in on Mamkhize's defense, with reactions ranging from skepticism to sympathy. Now, some criticized her for the way she handled the interrogations, suggesting that Carte Blanche was not a platform for PR, but rigorous investigative journalism. Others expressed concern over Mamkhize's apparent disregard for the evidence presented, lamenting the consequence of such actions. People on the internet were split on Mamkhize's case. Some were saying Wuti, hey, Sissy, you can't be denying things that are self-evident. The facts are here. You were charged for tax evasion with your company. But we see, on the other hand, some people on the internet supporting Mamkhize and defending her, saying maybe they didn't want to see a black lady succeed. So it seems like the internet's opinion on Mamkhize at this point is split. It's either you really love her or you really are skeptical of her. But ladies and gentlemen, the controversy does not end there.
That's number one. Number two, ngiyawazi nonke umuzi wami. Ake kubuye back la ngoba umnikazi wonyoka njalo khona ukuthi nje umnikazi wonyoka use-USA ukhona namanje la nyonga yakhe sekhona. Ngizozama ukuthola i-Instagram handle njengoba ngiza ngizothumelela i-team yami inibhekele i-Instagram handle yomnikazi wonyoka.
Because while shooting her reality TV show, a lot of people were caught off guard by the fact that Mamkhize had a snake. So Mamkhize has a black snake that is around 8 feet long. Her snake was shown to the public for the first time in one of the episodes of her family's reality show, Mam'Mkhize. The disclosure triggered various reactions from viewers, with many of them accusing the businesswoman of using her snake to make money through black magic. She responded by denying the rumor and stated that she inherently loves animals, particularly snakes. This clip took the internet by storm. People were rushing to make videos about how Mamkhize is using her snake to become so wealthy, to have so much money, and a lot of people were convinced that Mamkhize has reached the level she has reached because of the snake. Which does bring up a conversation I think is very important to have in black culture. And that is, why is it that whenever a black person is successful, or whenever somebody of color is successful or leaves ekasi and makes a name for themselves, why is it that we always have to attribute their success to izinto zobumnyama or black magic? I just don't, I've never understood that for the life of me. Because you have tons of successful white people, but nobody ever accuses them, saying that the snake is the direct cause of their wealth. I just think it's interesting that we do this in South Africa, especially that whenever a black person becomes of affluence or makes money or becomes well known, we love to attribute it to black magic, especially if the person is traditional originally in their beliefs. We love to attribute it to black magic, but I just think it's hard work and fraud if you're Mamkhize. So it seems that the story of Mamkhize is very interconnected and intertwined. There's a lot of moving parts in the story of Mamkhize, because on one hand you have an intelligent young lady who has built these companies and has made a great name for herself, but on the other hand you do have this fraud allegation case brought against her, and how she had to pay SARS 200 million rand, and one has to wonder, how did it get that bad? I guess we'll never know, because there's not a lot of information about how Mamkhize really built the bulk of her wealth. All we have to work on is, it's got to be either the snake, it's got to be either the Zikulise group, or the fraud case that's involved. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think Shauwn Mkhize's mother's ANC relationships had anything at all to do with the money Shauwn Mkhize has made? I don't know, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Or maybe you think that the snake is what's made her a multi-millionaire. But I guess with all that being said, I don't think any of this should take away from the good that Shauwn Mkhize has done, because she has done good in a lot of communities. She is considered to be a force for empowerment in black businesses, and she does give back to her communities in and around KZN through charity and bursary schemes. In fact, in January 2020, she worked with the Department of Sports and Culture to choose a school to donate to. She donated shoes and sanitary pads to Umlazi Comtech High School. She is also a feminist and an activist for social change, for the fight against gender-based violence against women and children, as well as HIV and AIDS. So it seems like Mam'Mkhize is doing a lot with her influence and her money, and I think that should be taken into consideration. But I guess we'll never really know how Mam'Mkhize became the multi-millionaire she is today.